look, that's Connor and Mohan. How you doing, guys? How have they made you look similar heights?
Hello.
What special tech is this? Is it?
I can back up too. We can get really small.
Oh, wow. Wow. This is crazy. It's great stuff. What do you make of this one then, guys? MongolZ clear favorites? Is that fair?
MongolZ clear favorites, and I'm right there with you. I think this is their event that they better damn win.
Correct.
Yeah, I think the only thing about the FaZe Clan point, Rich, is that they're the team that need the playoffs to get better.
Yeah.
They need the crowd to get better, so that makes it even harder for them.
Well, guys, we're going to find out if they can do it for real. Have a great cast. See you in a moment.
Get out of here, Richard. This guy's talking through the pistol round. Loves the sound of their own voices, those analysts. Can you blame them? Gravity, you'll be loving to start your day with that. That's what Maui Snake's talking about, that first bullet accuracy. There's no tracking when it comes to the P2000. So clean opening headshot out top middle. And with that, MongolZ setting their sights on this B split, or at least the cave control for now, but met by the smoke, they'll hold. Unlikely that the MongolZ don't come rushing into things, but still pieces of utility. Lucky's going to see it as a chance to go and pry down this ramp, and he finds nothing.
Yeah, that is a lovely start, and Lucky has an interesting position because he could get to the cutout and actually hang out for a second because he knows that they're around here. If he decides to push farther, of course, he's going to see some T's, and they're waiting for him. I think he just kind of overstepped, right? You're a 5v4, lots more map control off that play, but he was anticipating at this early point in the round they would have committed maybe to the A site, and now the round is possible again for the MongolZ.
Just the perfect amount of patience there. You never want to get too greedy.
Let's see how things change now. So CTs are searching back. The Ts who are getting organized. 4v2 split on the site. Retake positions here.
Body leans back. Ramp players won't be cut off, but the dual Berettas give him a fight, and bomb goes down. So MongolZ have absolutely brought this one back, despite the 4v5. Flashbang, awkward, and Gravity comes through with 2 more headshots off the pistol. So now those Berettas along the wall look to shred, and they're only able to find 2 of the 4 demanded in the clutch here from Senzu. So Senzu 3 kills, Gravity 3 kills, but it's that cleanup that makes the difference.
I think this is a good round to explain, I think, what's good and bad about 3D Max, because I would say their problem, the good thing about them is they're great tactically. That was brought up.
Yeah.
They have some cool flash plays. They have some good opening pick plays. But strategically, I think that's where they fall off. And that's why, because they lack some of that structure, some of their individuals can't be consistent. So when you see, you know, the overstep on that push down the B ramp, I think that's a good example of, like, you had a tactic that made sense, but now thinking more cohesively about the entire round, you just kind of go off and do your own thing instead of thinking about how this affects the map as a whole, allowing MongolZ to get back into it. But then they save it with another tactic as their flash play to retake.
Ooh, MP9s down into the grills of the MongolZ. You have welcomed this possibility by thinking you can overstep, thinking you could find success the same as that mid play. And instead, you open this door up for the B bomb site. You know, here's the beauty of this head-to-head, I think, is it's going to be fast, flashy Counter-Strike. MP9 up close versus 910 will not prevail. And now man advantage slips away here for 3D Max. Exorcise quickly into the bomb site. Back turn to the cave play. Senzu gets his. It's half health for about both. Oh, but that move through smoke is going to have him caught off guard, no doubt.
Wait,
910. What? Okay. Settle down. Things get awkward, things get weird, but they're still able to bounce up on top. So, hey, don't go rushing with your MP9s, folks.
Yeah, they tried to make this real aggressive to take extra map control, which isn't always a bad idea, but they know that this is coming off of a plant on the pistol round.
Sure.
So there's a risk. They know MongolZ are going to buy. They're probably going to try something. If no one had got ahead of that smoke off a spawn, it might have been okay. But a deep B smoke with that push, you cannot always rely on it, so that allows MongolZ back into the game.
3v5 in the force buy to take it off of 3D Max. These rounds, I think, can be incredibly, what I was trying to get to, fast and flashy. That is the fun thing about this head-to-head. I think anytime you go up against the MongolZ on Ancient, your B players have to be having a great day.
Yes.
Their ability to transition into those fast hits, as we just saw with the back-to-back Senzu triple kills for the record. Here's another thing about Senzu. We want to talk about MongolZ and their struggles on the stage, etc., trying to break through that last barrier that is really playoffs and trophies. You know who doesn't struggle in the groups and who is constantly up there? Well, it's Senzu, and he starts the day as you'd hope.
Yeah, it's almost probably frustrating to be like at the beginning of another event and everyone just assumes you're going to be good, and then you've just got to do that. No one cares if you do that, and then you've got to get and win the entire event, and then people are still just going to call you a studio player.
Yeah,
you know, that's their life. You know, they can cry on their money though, because there's a lot of it on the line for this one. But that is the position for the Mongols now, and that's why our expectations are where they are.
Where are your expectations for 3D Max this event?
I'm not the biggest fan in general. I think again, the Des brought up the tactics. I think it's the strategies overall that just don't fit. They're a team who there's probably a good analogy to draw here with like an artist or something. But like there's like, you know, like a rap artist, for example, that's so influential, but themselves never took off. And that's because they brought in a lot of good techniques. They had a lot of good wordplay, whatever it was, but didn't benefit from their own abilities because they didn't have the whole package. It feels like that's what 3D Max are. I think that's also like the move to grab Body. I mean, he's good. Body's good. But he's never a star, so and even if he was the best player on a team, he still wasn't a star at the tier 1 level. So I think that it's hard to have higher expectations, but they didn't make a roster move that demanded that. You know, when Legion goes to complexity, it's like close out an event.
Sure.
Body goes to 3D Max. Are people like, how come they're not winning every? No one thinks that.
Right.
You know, I think it's pretty obvious exactly how good they can be. So. The desk mentioned Ascension, and that is what needs to happen. The players they expected to get better now that their team is overall better need to do that, but that would be a big surprise.
Like bLitz hiding bottom mid under this box could have been the death of Body. Instead, player in the background drops him. Now, Maui Snake yesterday told me, we were discussing which teams we thought would make top 8, and he just said, I hope you and Launders can finally see the 3D Max, you know, that he has fallen in love with.
When did he say that?
He said that yesterday. Oh. Like he was showing me like just statistically their players at the events that we specifically casted them. Right? Like our experience with 3D Max comes through the way of, you know, Katowice and the Cluj groups and the Shanghai event, and those were actually some of their worst, you know, worst moments. So let's see if we get a better version of them today. A 3v5 loss in round 2 to give money momentum back to MongolZ isn't what bodes well, but hey, there's still some room to improve. Yeah. Not in this one though. That 5-7 that goes out middle gets clipped early, and 3D Max again.
I mean, they can be underrated, but they're not a tournament threat. I think that's the difference.
Sure.
So it's really good to point out things like Maui did about like Body's entry stats, and that improves the team, but it just doesn't make them tournament threats. You know, look at the MongolZ roster moves. Their last player in Senzu just suddenly made them a tournament threat. He's also become their Achilles heel as well in playoffs. But that's something, you know, that's a door that might be opened one day for the Mongols, like once he figures it out. But for 3D Max, I don't really see the outs. Like, you can look at this series directly. They've got so much commonality in the map pool, but Mongols are just better at every step.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I think tactically and strategically, Mongols outclassed them. There's no moment where tactics elude the Mongols, or a moment where it's like, oh, they don't have ideas right now. So
surely that commonality in map pool is why the last 3 matches all go the way of MongolZ, with 0 maps even hitting double digits for 3D Max. Today could be the day, as mentioned as well. Coming off of a bit of an extended break, no play since Pro League. 5v3 again. Let's see if they can close this one in the retake demanded of them. XRC's already up inside of the cave. Will catch Mzinho off now. Senzu felt pinned against the wall for only a moment. Op shot connects. That's going to be lucky low. Cleanup duty from inside cave as Senzu still sits 10-1. This op continues to rain out. Doesn't actually stop them, and 3D Max come forth with the double man advantage retake. That's what you're looking for if you're 3D Max.
Definitely. 2 good retakes over here on the B site in this match to kick it off this morning here in Romania. Well done. And you would hope that eventually the series odds would flip a little bit because, again, there's so much practice here against the MongolZ for the 3D Max. It is a moment where they could say, well, okay, we're comfortable at least. We understand how this team beats us.
Sure.
At some point, they either make you better or they are the ones who teach you how to beat them. Game's close, but we got another bye round.
There's also been a lot of Ancient between them specifically, so this is where the improvements should be marked. The bLitz versus Body fight was highlighted by the desk, but Body's changing up positions. Flying it over towards Donut, getting away from that early. And again, this continuation of a little bit of B pressure. And this time, no overstep, right? They don't follow through into the smoke. They don't try to fight out towards middle. But does that leave them worse for where the double Donut setup seem to have smokes coming down?
I think there's a key moment here where Maka can get into CT, but he doesn't. They'll have a smoke or just a molly. Do they have a CT smoke?
Yes, on Body. Inside a Donut, but not the CT rotator.
Oh, they avoid it because of that aggressive smoke for themselves. Ooh. Nice one for Maka.
Yeah, frag grenade almost covered him there, but bomb plant comes through from Senzu. Another 5 versus 3. Let's see what happens this time. bLitz, good op kill, but shouldn't be enough. He's not going to be able to find himself a second one as well. 3D Max just looming, not too far off from that bomb site again. Let the plant go down, hang on to your Donut control. Full control by the looks of it for 3D Max in the back-to-back retake success.
Yeah, man, that's definitely what you want to see. I mean, also we see why they've been persistent about taking bottom B. This time they finally catch their man off guard by himself. And even though they don't push, they maintain that 5v4. Maka gets into a good spot. A couple of small moments, but you can see that these are duels that have happened in the past.
Yeah, surely. You know what they say, 4th time's the charm. And if they lose today, it's the 5th time. MongolZ aren't going anywhere. They will creep into the cave. Gravity finds the opening. Smoke over top. Flashes come next. And there's the swing from Lucky. Denied by the Deagle. One shot out of Senzu, dude. He is on for one. Spray gets a little dirty. Mzinho picks up next. And then with an AK in hand, decides not to jump onto Maka immediately, who's ready to stuff that barrel to the gut. Here comes that fast flank out from Exercis. And now a second rifle picked up. Wildblind. A bit more damage done. 910 grabs the weapon, and he's just trying to figure out who and when does piece the first together. And the USP swing out from Maka is what makes the difference on that one.
That was a nice try from 910, man. The way that he backed up to get a better angle versus Banana while the smoke was still up on long. But the USP saves the day. Another retake one here for 3D Max.
This one much closer than the last. And all by way of a couple of Desert Eagles. I think MongolZ showing us that, again, every round is going to be a fight for 3D Max. That's what this head-to-head always ends up being, is the favor skewed to MongolZ. So nice to see them coming through. I'd say well-oiled.
Yeah.
Think about that. The 3D Max so far, to me, the tethering looks good. The trade frag's efficient.
Yeah, they're missing a little bit on their sprays, but I think 910's actually missing more.
Okay.
With his op. He probably could have defended a couple of these retake situations, but instead, yeah, you've got 4 retakes, 1 for 4 CT rounds. Some closer than others.
I'm going to derail this quickly, Launders.
I'm ready.
Maka has his left index finger wrapped in large bandages. Almost looks like a cast.
Oh.
How important is the left index finger when it comes to playing Counter-Strike?
I mean, if you're going to strafe right, I guess it's kind of tough.
You know?
We'll see about these. We'll see about these strafes.
Keep a close eye on.
This A play should definitely work. Another chance to go into a retake here. A little harder for the 3D Max. They're playing close by, but they won't get an open shot. It looks like. We'll see. Maybe they will. Oh,
it's there, but it ain't what they needed. Body still maintaining donut control. Oh, okay. Body approaches it, but at the same time gets dropped down to 18 health. Another missed shot out of 9-10. You're dead on. He's not.
Morning humor.
Flash over the top. Techno inside of the site, still waiting for that joined up split to come at him. Lucky's got to be careful that he doesn't get shaved off before his teammates were ready to go. I think that's why he jumps this back. Are they going to concede it?
Yeah, if you lose the 5v4 right away, at least you get one back, but it's just so much time's gone already. Fresh utility, that was the problem. I think on this play, the Mongols were walking out of A main, so they didn't use any utility, so all of it was fresh when they got into the retake. And you see the moment where Maka realizes, I've got to be here in CT to get my open shot, and he nearly gets it. But he actually doesn't realize that some haven't crossed yet and thinks he's a little too late. But the point is that the timing was missed seconds before that. You know, when they just realized that it could be the A site again.
Mongols capitalizing on it. Leave it to bLitz. Haven't really gotten a big bLitz versus body show out mid just yet. A lot of, you know, constant utility pressure, but not always the follow through behind it. This time, it will happen. Into the corner goes bLitz and Techno. And body, too many targets to bring down both, but Gravity connects off of the lane peak. Techno's going to see this as a chance to slice through A site. Maka now confirms that they're in here, bomb included, and he's not able to contend with that Molotov, so he waits. 9-10 holds mid, snips Gravity off the play, and Maka freed up for the moment, unable to catch Senzu, who is swift. The time to kill on Senzu, very clean, and that is why he sits pretty at 12-4. Lucky's gonna have to just walk this one away, and the Mongols have taken back their lead.
That was pretty nice. I think a lot of these moments are very close as well. bLitz, one bullet. His, you know, 3D Max have that perfect crunch on mid, coming in from high and low, but because bLitz hits his first bullet headshot, he gets a trade that secures another man advantage in a situation where they could have won mid and denied that.
Terrorists win.
So it's a game that's hard to call. I think if I was 3D Max, I'd be very hopeful. This is a very tight score line. They've won some of the harder rounds, the retakes. They know that 9-10's not hitting everything, though you don't want to give him enough time to warm up. I think Techno's yet to get on the board. Exorcist is getting a Mag 7.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Let's do it. I mean, these teams were warming up Kriegs, auto shotguns, and no-scope op duels in the warm-up, the extended warm-up.
I'm a fan of the auto shotgun because I think it's actually good, even though it's pretty expensive. The Mag 7... I don't know if that's really been explored in CS2. I think people did use it in some situations in CSGO. I'm ready.
It's viable. I feel like all the shotguns kind of do the same thing, barring the Nova and the sawed-off. Like
Nova's OP, man. It just can shoot from so much farther away.
Yeah. But the armor pen, I think, of the Mag 7, that's what's going to make this one viable versus a gun round. Watch this.
Please don't give us the Gervin guarantee right now.
Yes, sir. Watch and learn, boys. Yep. Right here.
Oh, yeah. Okay, right.
And now you know Mzinho's primed to be popped, and an M4 swap over as Exorcist drops bomb in front of him. This is no longer a joke. That Mag 7 set him up. It's control of the bomb, given back over. He's happy for them to scoop it back up so that they can sit pretty 4v3.
Yeah, that's a great use of it. That's the second shot. Even the first shot does so much damage that he can finish it off with the picked up M4.
Yeah, it's 80 on the body shot, dude. That's thick.
Gratata.
Gravity comes back through middle with Lucky. They can
bomb's
cut off
crossing.
Bomb. Yep. The timing on this bLitz climb could be costly.
Uh-oh.
The device hits the ground, and then suddenly the Mongols, these last two stragglers over on the B site.
That's an interesting move from bLitz because he definitely had time to run through spawn if he wanted to.
Did indeed. There's a bit of a pinch on Lucky. That could open up Senzu's ability to grab bomb back, but we do see this A main push slowly coming through from Exorcist, and that means that his climb up will be denied. Techno, again, just trying to bail them out of this middle play. Senzu trying to get bomb, realized how pinched he truly was. Lucky continues to fight this, and Techno 36 health cleaned up. We've got a tied game again.
Yes, well fought here from 3D Max. And I think, yeah, bLitz at that moment, that's a very weird timing to come back into mid, especially alone. No window smoke at all. He was hoping for basically 3D Max to not make any move on the map, which fair enough. They did have a main control, so maybe he felt they could have been satiated, but very good for 3D Max to keep it moving.
There's a moment there for Techno that could have been very costly. If he's just looking for the guy in the back of Red Room through the gap of the box, he gets that player first. But he goes a little wide and the second guy swings. Just could have been the mistake that 3D Max get punished for. Instead, they'll work their way into a round 10 win. From round 10 to 9-10, boosted up. Won't find any contact on that back line. Looks like Lucky's gonna remain passive here on short. Gets the contact and an early dink on ramp, but what goes around comes around. He's now low as well.
That's unfortunate.
And he gets mopped up. Wide swing from an MP9 into an entire horde of the MongolZ. It's low HP for 2 of the 5. A bit more chip damage offered here from XRC as he tries to open up this rotation. How does Senzu jump across that stream of rifle shots and seemingly not take any more damage? Talk about elusive. More missed op shots from 9-10. One connected, but didn't get lethal. And so this crawl up from the back lane into Techno's crosshair as the smoke remains in front of the ramp. We get this clean wallbang frag back onto Techno. And they try to bait out. Nobody's reacting. What? Nobody. Why didn't they turn around?
Nobody's even turned around.
What are they looking at? What are they doing, Dan?
No one even turned around at all.
Neither player reacted. Very worried about the cave push.
That's full trust. You know, they didn't want to get hoodwinked right there.
Yeah. Okay.
They're like, we're not going to get fooled by this. All right.
That's awkward.
Nevertheless, close game. Exorcise back to the Mag 7 again.
Yes, sir.
This time sort of has to, the money.
Uh-oh. Similar situation. Ooh!
Yo.
Headshot comes out.
Go.
You got half of the health dropped off 9-10 and Senzu. They're going to try to pelt him with nades. Mag 7 doing work. Sets up Lucky to come through and clean up on the 5-7. And this is one of the few rounds where we get 3D Max actually going heavy on the A site. That was 2 donut, 2 A main out of the spawn.
Right.
In the same time that the MongolZ try to finish off this half with a pretty simplistic approach. And so well placed at the right time. 3D Max may have just tied this game up at 6-all.
Not saying they have to be careful, but they look to phase this smoke. They really want to clear this out right now.
But Senzu does have 15 kills. The lineup that could have been, but is not. XRC's round MVP. And at the tail end of this, we go back and forth for 4 rounds. Look at that top-heavy scoreboard for the MongolZ.
Have you seen anyone else use the Mag 7?
Hugo Byron.
Hugo Byron?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's a big Mag 7 guy.
It's barely got that out right.
Well, should we address the elephant in the room, Mohan? The elephant.
Hugo Byron?
No. I would never call him an elephant. More of a rat. Scrawny and launders in the morning. This is a rare occasion.
Oh, right.
When is the last time we did a morning shift? You know, it's been eons, I would say, and so maybe that. It's a new flavor that we're bringing to you guys here for PGL Bucharest.
Do you know any other any other pros that have? Because like I remember a lot of Mag 7 playing CS:GO, but I can't name a single other player who's using Mag 7 in CS2.
Can't say I've seen it used that well.
Yeah.
Not as well as what Exorcist just put out.
It looks good.
Looks great.
I thought that you hated all shotguns.
Nope, just the noob tube.
Okay.
The XM1014. And hate is a strong word.
You've got some contempt for it. Yeah. I mean, whenever we see one, you're like,
I play it up.
Are they throwing? Like, that's kind of...
XRC's 1v5 coming at you hot here live in Bucharest, where the last two CTs continue to try to pinch him. Oh, he had a chance at that.
And he still does.
He is on for this. How many kills that quickly? Triple for Mzinho.
Oh, you see him. He's just got his adrenaline flowing right now. He's trying to reset. Look at the time on the clock. This is just a 1v2 now. He doesn't have to think about the last 3 frags. The Mongols are treating this as if suddenly this is a winnable situation for XRC. He has to think about it this way as well. Very good moment to cool the nerves. And you've got Mongols playing this pretty aggressively. They're not playing 2-2. 2 together. They're playing 1-1 to sites. Techno's going for a push. This actually looks like it's going to favor the Mongols somewhat. And I think this means Senzu could move over to single box or, I guess, play however.
This is a battle of the top performers about to go down on the A site. When it's all about those clean kills. He's got him frazzled behind that big box. Ooh, XRCs get the 4th, and now it's on! You look at that radar, you had 8 kills in the same position. He goes deep. Techno's gonna have that audio advantage. But did he make a loud step? XRC's denied. 1 kill between him and the 1v5. Techno steps up when it matters.
He thought they would play together. He thought they were gonna be together. He thought one was Donut and he was avoiding that situation. But wouldn't Techno have swung at the same moment that
Look
Senzu
at this
fought him?
bloodbath.
That's so unfortunate for him.
You ever seen 8 bodies stacked so close together?
Nearly ruined that play from Mzinho. Well, that was pretty cool. Nice try. Even saved Techno for last, wasn't having a great game. But you know who's more nervous to win that clutch.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't even about the tournament, you know? Get me my 1v5. Everybody wanted the same thing in that moment. Mongols just wanted to deny it. That's all they cared about.
You know, it's a very short list of players that hit 1v5s in any given year.
Yeah, I can only think of Floppy.
And I can think of him twice.
In 2 days.
But he lost in the 1v1, so everybody will forget about it. Today is not your day.
Never happened, did it?
Sucker. Still trying to carry his team. Kicking and screaming at the moment. bLitz extends down into them. Bit of a rough go of it for bLitz, actually. I guess maybe Senzu's kind of scooping up all these frags, but
they did do a good job versus bLitz on utility and like winning in mid.
Sure.
Just like not having him come out of elbow. So I think that's definitely where they got something out of it.
No, I really thought that was going to be much more of a point of contention, but utility had him kind of playing a little more modest than what we've seen bLitz in the past do in mid.
Also pulled out 4 retakes, I think, in that 1 half.
Yes, sir.
That helped.
And so pistol converted. No bomb plant in either. 3D Max. Rifles in the 3rd, and it's a lucky swing out mid.
Don't really fight him. At least Lucky gets out. They've established well here. They can kind of do anything now.
The power of getting that risky on elbow at the start of these rounds.
They didn't need much utility damage either. Lucky got tagged. But you can see from the guns here from the Mongols, they're playing with house money a little bit.
And I think you take that tag for the amount of map control it came with. It's going to allow for them to transition into this 5-player B split. Top ramp opened up. We've got a double entry coming out from 3D Max, and 910s rotate in with just this dinky MP9. A bit more spam damage coming forth from the Mongols, but still very much at bay in the retake until Lady Luck graces 910 with that body headshot, but still little too little too late. AK swap over, and you've got the remnants of the MongolZ still beyond arm's reach. Down to 4 bullets in that AK. Looks like this one's going to have to go. At least, as you mentioned, a bit of house money here in this round for the MongolZ. But 3D Max, that is what you're looking for early on this T side.
Yeah, they did have to still reinvest a little bit. So, I mean, even though we'll get another buy coming in, well, maybe we do, maybe we don't. I think we saw 3,200 there on Mzinho.
Yep, it's 32 for Mzinho, 33 for Techno. But they're going to buy regardless by the looks of it. bLitz on the insta purchase.
It looks like they thought one step ahead on buying some weaker guns when they could have afforded full upgrades. Well, we're already getting into the territory where this is one of the better days for 3D Max versus their arch nemesis.
Yep. Ooh. bLitz tries to get thrown forth into elbow, looking to hold it back with force. And all you've done is welcome the spam forward. That nade goes a little too far. Yeah, but simultaneous kill up into cave. You will absolutely take this if you were 3D Max. These AKs are just churning through the MongolZ at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like if it's not Senzu, it's not anyone at the moment.
And that doesn't bode well when a 3D Max squad is starting to tap into gravity as being Exorcis's second performer, his right-hand man. You know, we've convinced everybody to go for Exercice.
Exercice.
What if we can get them to start going for Gravity?
Gravity.
Gravity.
I just keep thinking he owns like a small Italian restaurant.
Gravities.
Yes.
Gabagool.
Vesuvios.
Right here. So from the back-to-back buys to the attempted save. 3D Max want in on this?
Gravities.
Gravities.
The pastas looks like a black hole, you know?
Okay.
You got the spaghetti spun.
Oh, okay.
Right? There's something here. Pasta for nerds. You know what I mean? Gravities.
Pasta for astronomers.
Pasta for virgins.
Not gonna say
that was unnecessary.
Yeah,
I didn't need to say that.
But you can't take it back. That's the beauty of this job. Out middle again. Obviously working with less in this one. It ain't no Mag 7. Clean headshot from body. Tapping into those entry stats that the desk so aptly highlighted. Lucky also, quick kill to Senzu. Body's got a second. And here comes the deke of bLitz, but one frag a little too late. If anything happened on that A site, maybe we see some resistance. But ladies and gentlemen, 3D Max are on the brink of doing something they have not done in the last 3 best-of-3s versus the MongolZ. Every single map loss, 6-0, less than 10 rounds won. Double digits for the first time on the line right now.
And they've got this T side that's working. You've got a couple of pieces from the MongolZ, which are not online yet. So this is, and they've won retakes in this game. Very hard rounds that 3D Max have had to pull off. So this is a prime opportunity to turn this series on its head. It's going to be a fight till the end, obviously, because MongolZ still have 2 maps they're extremely comfortable on.
Of course.
Up.
Yeah.
At least they're known still from 3D Max. I think Dust brought up that MongolZ don't really have any shockers when it comes to their losses. They lose to top 5 teams here and there, but teams like 3D Max, they regularly just put down.
Ooh. Senzu, nice timing off of the cave peak. There was a player up on top of him in Gravity who has now found a kill out towards middle as well. Blitz burned into the open, knew he had to bring somebody down with him. And we've got Body quick to the play. Into A site, he'll go barreling.
Oh, and we've got 910 searching mid. So he'd come and flank Donut, which actually might be the better retake position. We'll see. No, they plan for CT. Very smart here for 3D Max. This round suddenly becomes much more difficult.
Good chance to avoid it. Ooh, Body gets the quick headshot. 910, no kit on the peak. Gonna try for the off angle. And he's dead.
Ah, Brody, yeah, he scaled the wall.
Yes,
stayed
sir.
very close, tucked in, wasn't spotted, and there it is. 10 rounds. That was 4 players coming into mid. Senzu, once again, basically the only one to multi-kill in this game. Gets 2 frags, bLitz gets 1, and that's just not enough. 4 players dead in mid is where the round ends. Clutches, for the most part, going the way, besides the 1v5 denial, going the way of 3D Max.
Okay. Bully them. Kick them while they're down. I see you, 3D Max. That's a taste of the MongolZ, I think. Giving right back to them. Straight up B-rush. Perfect round to do it. So obviously not only are you starting to thrive on an individual level, the reads fantastic, the confidence starting to brim. And we add this one to the tally. 3D Max 11-8. Easy.
Yeah, they're playing to win here, man. Everyone is also recovered their score lines. It was just exercise for a bit.
Yeah.
But now we've got all 5 players positive on the scoreboard.
I'll say this, you know, Desk, you mentioned it as well. They threw around the word Ascension. They also kind of had some criticisms for Exercise and Gravity and saying that sometimes they do just kind of drop out.
Yeah.
Not today. It's come together from those 2. They were the first 2 pieces to put it together. Now the T side all thriving as a pack. This is a 3D Max that is stepping up to the occasion, and one that is 2 rounds from victory on Ancient. Looking better out of the gate in the opening map of PGL Bucharest 2025. Senzu's star potential still very much alive, but the rest of this team are not where they need to be in the opening hours of this event. (9-10) at bat once more, and this time does not miss his chance at striking down the first.
It's not a fake per se, but the bomb's still over at elbow while they're breaching cave. And when they lose this, Gravity gonna try to follow up. Well, he does actually find the trade. But bLitz one back, and they don't have the bomb now. They're just dying everywhere. So, okay.
Okay, what, Mohan?
I mean, just decided to give it a test. They're the ones with the lead. So round like that, basically, you're putting a chip everywhere on the table.
Yeah.
Sometimes you go green.
You win some, you lose some. One of the less inspired looking rounds out of 3D Max, but let's see what their next thought is. See, look. Is that a cast? Or a cut?
It makes
Is his finger really long?
long.
Yo, that's the longest finger I've ever.
What if it's just like underneath, it's just a bone?
Yeah, man, I got that index extension. It's really all the rage in Toulouse at the moment.
He just strafes right with E now.
Dude, finger extensions.
No, that's... Take it from someone whose fingers are way too long. You do not want to have long fingers. It really doesn't benefit you.
Salad fingers looking ass.
Yeah, there's no mouse that fits your hand. I don't know what he...
No, but it's
the keyboard hand.
Yeah, it's the keyboard hand, so it's all right.
It's even more uncomfortable, honestly. I crouch with spacebar.
Okay. Into the cutout goes bLitz. A sea of flashbangs over the top. Ooh, but the one that matters is the one that comes out from Donut. Cautious now, Techno. Better be careful. Gravity steps in, steps out. and will step on top of the MongolZ towards this B site with bomb over on that ramp. Feels to me like 3D Max are ready to engage this. And if XRCs can cut off this rotation, then things get even more dire, but there's the double back. They try to get out through that smoke. Those two players attempt to jump on the opportunity. Instead, you have offered the multi back over to the MongolZ, and the clutch attempt denied by this one. MongolZ within one.
They got way too excited right there. They should have been in a position to slow down. Senzu got a double spray down on Banana. We didn't see that because they were attacking mid at the same time. But there was a moment where they cut off an A rotation and they heard two guys going over. This is not an idea. This is not a moment where you go, all right, now it's time to hit B. Here's a moment where you go, now it's time to pause, force a rotation back, make them uncomfortable, or just full commit to the A side. You know that that is down to one player, if not none. So I think they just got way too excited right there. And Senzu is the only guy on this team who's getting multi-kills. Uh, 3D Max have done well, though, with the money, with winning in some very overwhelmingly good rounds. So potentially, even if they lose here, they could still have a healthy bye. Win here and get match point, but they get followed in mid.
Bait and switch. Techno also quick with it inside of the cave. That is only his 7th frag, but it comes at an important juncture. Ooh, body with the wall bang back.
That's nice. Gives him cave. Oh.
Yep. 910 exchanging glances, tries to pounce down the ramp. Will not be able to catch the kill to Maka on the first shot, nor the second.
Are they gonna come out?
Chance at a split. Senzu looks to come bail them out. Pistol whip around from 910.
Oh, he got cross-eyed right there. Didn't know what was going on.
They thought they could just pounce within it. It's a fast flank out from bLitz as well, and we are tied at 11 now.
They're just reeking of desperation now, man. Yeah, this is like every time they get one kill, they get so hyped up, and they're like, now it's time to just barrel down on them. But like at this point, I think now the MongolZ are getting a little warmed up, and these are still winning positions they're getting. They're just not actually milking them for everything that they're worth. Instead, they're trying to just take advantage of a very small move, I think, here for 3D Max. At the very least, they are going to go for a buy. Maka's the only... He's not going to have an op, obviously, this round. But it's not going to be the worst buy in the world. And Graviti, and you know, he keeps trying to take this duel versus Techno by himself too. He just wants him dead every round.
You can't just slip that in.
What's that?
You said Graviti.
Oh. Yeah, that's
you know, Italian star Graviti.
That is who he is in my head.
Okay.
He's Graviti.
Oh, there's a lot of fire in that corner, but Maka finds just a piece of sanctuary. All he needs to hang on to that angle.
There
Here
we go.
3D Max gonna try to continue the swing out middle. Senzu with a chance to shine, and there's nobody to come up that ramp just yet. This is another moment where you just wait a second.
Just wait a second.
You've already fallen victim to just trying to go too fast. Mac 10 jump over, and two players softened. The Opper will not catch a glimpse of that cross. Molotov at the feet of the player in the back of the site, and this is just Mzinho's chance to inch it ever closer. You've got 3 members of 3D Max inside this site. Utility flushes you, and those 2 ramp anchors are both your low players. 910 catches the bomb, and now it's down to the low health bars, but by God, they can do it. Swing out from Mzinho. A denial of 12. Woo! You thought you'd slow it down just enough, but it's still the MongolZ to take it.
Man, that is so cool from Mzinho. They could have swung at the exact same time. They tried to time it, but he was ready. Ooh.
Yeah. If this goes 13-11,
I mean,
it is coming with a sting.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think it's another situation. This is their best situation of the last few, but it still has some of the same bones. Unfortunately, here for a 3D Max.
Oh, gut-wrenching start to the event, and 3D Max can't close.
They are eating utility every one of these last rounds.
Trying to smash themselves against it. A welcoming spam that could have primed Techno. He holds. He's now got support behind, and he gets it all on his own. Clean as can be until the Tech9 answers. Exercise down. It is new territory for 3D Max in breaking double digits, but the way the Mongols laugh off these last few rounds, they know that they just dodged a map 1 loss by the skin of their teeth.
Skin of the teeth, indeed.
People who are playing Inferno right now are just unhappy because like it's a home map for teams like the MongolZ, for 3D Max, and I think you don't want to really have changes at all. I think
you don't want to shake up.
Any variance only allows new teams in and maybe disrupts the game plans. And it's like with the CT mollies the way they are, it's really strange to have the changes come in because you'd think those would be changed first. Historically, there's always been something special about Inferno. Like, I think that the round timer got changed because of smokes on Inferno. I think Inferno's always been a map that you know, Valve looked to in the greater balance of the game, and I think that's why mollies became smaller in the first place. So yeah, very weird changes. Let's see how they work out for these two teams.
At the moment, no banana control for MongolZ. They're gonna go around with the arch wrap into CT. Ooh, bLitz gets shot on the back of the head. Sneaky stuff from Lucky. 3D Max decide to double this one back. And so suddenly 9-10 inside of a pit, feeling uncomfortable, surely. He's able to at least shave Maka off the play, but a 2v4 retake demanded in the pistol. Looking like we're gonna split pistols yet again, back and forth. Techno keeping it moving. Sizing up this bomb site. I see a lot of tucked heads, everybody just crouched down, looking to make themselves as small as possible. Flash comes out for the attempt to get out from balcony, and he's done it. Onto the player in Little Pit. Techno turns. That's positions confirmed. Exercise with the headshot on Senzu can just tuck back in behind the wall, and it's low health for Techno as well. They'll capitalize on the chance. 3D Max coming through with another pistol win.
It was a good try, but Lucky's 2 kills. If 5v3 that early with the split coming into A, it's way too difficult from that point on. Couple of small missteps back, but it'll be 3D Max to pull this off. Now, this happened on Ancient as well, but it was a situation where MongolZ are starting T-side. They got a plant, and the buy was way too powerful. This one will be a step more challenging, but also it's Inferno. It's a map where ecos happen quite often, and I think that's because of how many small guns can be used on so many close angles.
Look how wide this thing is.
It's throwing hot dogs down hallways now.
Could fit a real-sized truck down Banana now. None of that 3-wheeled wagon stuff.
I'd love to know why.
Why they widened it now?
Yeah, because who complained about how narrow it was?
I don't know.
It felt like it was like a good width.
Like you said, it should have been the change that happened first. Hold on, we'll get back to it. Quick pop out through smoke. 5-7 that takes down body. And that's still going to be majority alive for the MongolZ coming through the site. But yeah, it's like, okay, you just mentioned it, right? Like Inferno's a one where the devs keep an eye on. And, you know, round time change affects all maps.
All maps.
Smoke duration change.
All maps.
Molotov size.
All maps.
And then last, but certainly not least, you finally just widen Banana. Why wasn't widening Banana the first change?
Yeah, that's like that's the best way to look at it. Like, how come it wasn't the first change with the old mollies?
Why do we go map specific?
Because like you think of the molly on A ramp on Mirage is like unreliable. You can just stand around it, go run through it. Even because the spread is slower, if you're running on a lot of spawns like on Ancient to B, even if you don't get the molly out soon enough, now it doesn't even matter. It's just totally pointless. Oh, a couple of good kills here for 9-10. So, yeah.
So weird.
Normally you could see the logic.
Yeah.
But for this one, it's just like, what part of, especially the climate of, we've got very T-sided maps in general now.
Yep.
Widening Banana.
Yep.
Small shrinkflation Molotovs, incendiaries. They wanted to make Inferno more popular. I think that was basically the only angle I can think of for this in general. But I really didn't feel like they took the balance into account.
Balance? Forget about it. Utilities barreling off the walls here. A couple missed nades. Curious to see how it changes up people's lineups and whatnot too, right? Any little change can force errors. We see that one frag bounce back at them. This forced by... features a little less for bLitz. Hanging on to that Desert Eagle, looking to wrap back around as the pack hits the site, but he's a little too late to the party. His teammate's already dead. He will have the element of surprise because he tests that smoke. But now that he doesn't strike them down immediately, they're thinking about holding flank, and XRC's from inside of the pit finds the right timing yet again. Senzu turned away. No real option at this one. Or am I wrong? Continues to size up the possibility. He'll find one player off guard and then leave. So looking to just rack up the costs here as 3D Max go flawless out of the gate on this Inferno T side, 3-0 strong.
You know, Valve have made some changes that are unpopular at first, but definitely made a lot of sense. I mean, like Nuke. On Nuke, they removed the hut window. I think that was a massive change in terms of movement option, fighting early, balance for the T's who are already having trouble getting out onto the outside site. But it ended up being one of the best changes Nuke has ever seen. Of course, that window needed to be closed. And it took some time for that to evolve and actually become a good thing. So there have been instances where, you know, they found an unpopular or not even talked about option in the past and it ends up working out. But I certainly don't think that would mean it's going to happen every time. We'll see. Inferno wasn't a bad place, I think.
Trying to get this M4 into the action early. Senzu does find one of the weaker opponents in that Mac 10 on Gravity. Maka will not waste the chance to strike down Archplay. Here comes the Deke. And that chase into the apartments will not find Senzu dead. Departing with the M4 still in hand. Smoke on Banana. Feels like a smoke barely blocks all of Banana now.
Yeah.
But, you know, volumetric and whatnot. No movement from MongolZ to go and stack this B site, so just hanging on to A for the time being. We get this 9-10 run over. Can the smoke go down in time? Looks like not. Techno dead on arrival. Oh, hold on. Lucky gets struck down through the smoke. Still, good utility here to confirm the bomb plant for 3D Max.
Last rotation will be very slow, but like, wouldn't expect this situation to be possible. And you know, the outshoot way down MZinho's guns. Too valuable.
And while that CT smoke is still up, you can hope for MZinho's sake, he'll cross back for the save.
So do we know if it's MZinho or MZinho? Has he ever talked about that one?
I don't think so.
Or is it MZinho?
No.
Gravity.
Gravity and MZinho.
Maybe they could open a place together and you could be like horse meat spaghetti.
Ew. Well, actually, you know what? I won't knock it till I try it.
I would definitely eat that.
Have you had horse before?
I don't know if I've had.
It's quite tough. Quite tough.
That's the thing about everything that's not like chicken, beef, or pork.
Yeah, man.
It's gamey.
It's gamey. Very tall, muscular animal.
Yeah, you just don't want animals that run a lot.
Mm-hmm. Deer, same boat.
Yeah.
Antelope, I'd imagine. Yeah.
I did have deer jerky once. Kind of tough.
Easy. 9-10 under a bit of pressure, but Incendiary turns back around the other two apartment players. And we get a little bit of banana play out of the MongolZ.
Looks like 3D Max don't want to go back to B at all. And they think they're being a little sneaky here, but there's a 4 CT rotate over towards the A site. Oh, and they break through. Senzu throws a flash to support in this push, and bLitz works. Really smartly played.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Able to swing off of that, capitalize. Of course, the also flash from that site helps out. Oh, MongolZ looked like they were getting caught with that entry through the arch side, but they swarmed.
Okay, but this is also a moment where it's like, they in the middle of the round, 3D Max are not considering what their advantages suddenly become. at the beginning of the round, they get pushed off a B, they go for the A play, fine. Maybe you're going to have to 5v4 on the A site, but you've got arch control, you've got bracket control. But then they get the kill in CT spawn. You know it's a 4 rotate over. You even know it's Senzu who dies. Now you don't even think, like, let's wrap through CT. Let's go back to Banana and catch the flank. Instead, they're continuing forward with a wrap. They don't smoke off library. They even know why Senzu's flashing. So they're not thinking actively as the round progresses. And yeah, that's ultimately why they lost that.
And moments like that remain why you criticize 3D Max sometimes?
Yeah, I guess it's just like tactics are good, strategy, overall strategy, and maybe just, yeah, being adaptive is a problem. It's something everyone can work on, of course, so I don't mean to cherry pick, but yeah, I think James brought it up in the interview, and he's like, you know, is there anything you want to work on?
Oh, almost goes unchecked. Lucky
don't
Body.
Have to work on the entries, though. That's
no. Right? That's what Body definitely brings to the table, and Lucky's been showing us in this match as well. Some of these clean opening push kills. Exercice caught off guard by the apartments clear. Does that open the possibility of a retake attempt? Or are the Mongols going to concede a 5th round to this T side? I think maybe this banana fight dictates the follow through. bLitz, MP9 in the front. Lucky just looks to reposition. Flash goes beyond him. Ooh! And then bLitz is able to stuff him up close. That's going to make things awkward for Maka. Suddenly his back's turned, and you found out the last remaining player, Body, hanging on to the back of the site. And as they close that distance, it's all good. Easy does it for the Mongols. Follow through 3v3.
Yeah, it was
4. Excuse me, the apartments kill first.
Okay, 3v4. That was probably when they thought the round was pretty much done. Exercice just looking to completely shut it off. But yeah, from the apartments all the way to that retake. So an unlikely situation. Great flashes though, because they had one that went past. Who was it? Who was playing Banana? Was it Exercice?
Yes,
I think. And one flash went past. I don't even know who threw the second one. If that came from CT spawn over towards B, but either way, that's what did the job. And officially, Mongols now have the potential to make this a half. Like they survived that. They now have an eco here for 3D Max.
Lucky on the half wall. That was lucky, for clarity's sake. Another swing through, huh? You've got him corralled against the wall here. Ooh, that little gap behind it.
Crazy commitment right there. I'd love that, though.
But also didn't look like he was taking any damage on the incendiary. Maybe making the most of the widening of these walls. Slips in behind it. Does offer an M4 over. But obviously not a very dire position here for the Mongols, as 2 of these 3 players don't have Kevlar, so M4 in Body's hands for now. With a smoke, see if they can isolate a position, maybe get a bomb down. That would be the, I think, small win of 3D Max here in round 7.
Both teams love taking fights.
That's why I like this head-to-head.
Yeah, it is fun.
Down it goes, and the lineup to close it. That's bLitz with 3.
Man, if bLitz doesn't get 3, then there's a plan. There's actually a real round. But yeah, that's it. Both teams love taking fights. I think you have 3D Max half expecting them to have a 2-player setup at the top of B. Unfortunate for 3D Max, of course. They just made one round where they displayed what lost them the game on Ancient in a 4-1 start. That allowed Mongols to get back into things, and now here we are after an eco, and the game is nearly tied. I think perfect time for a timeout. Let's see if 3D Max can extend this lead. Deliscus.
It's really clean as possible.
Yeah, bLitz was suffering on Ancient too, especially in the first half.
Yeah, so was 9-10, and then we watched the CT side. Absolutely turned it around. Uh-oh. 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 Techno stuck back there.
That flash helped.
But he still didn't escape. Didn't really trust it. T-side flash finds him. Nobody's watching this all of a sudden.
No.
Okay, they do still keep attention on it. It looks scary for a second as they did turn attention towards site, but Senzu will kill Lucky in return. So they go 1 for 1 on Banana. It's just the fact Senzu sits on a quarter health. That'll bring Blitz over.
That was absolutely insane that he had the opportunity to leave actively and just stayed there, but also very smart from 3D Max to put those spams down. They knew who they're up against.
Now Senzu kind of stuck in alone. Oh my god, the amount of damage he gets out. Not only the first kill to Gravity, but dropping body to a single point of health. Considering he did it from a quarter himself. Now Blitz writes off the possibility that Maka's in the corner. Damn well nearly catching Mzinho, but he will still recover it. We get that third headshot coming out from 3D Max. They go up 5-3, winning forward off the Banana entries.
Yeah, beautifully done here from Maka. And Senzu 1 health away from getting 2 kills and staying alive, which would have raised health for 3D Max. But instead, their entries come out. This is obviously the first kill right here. Again, it's a kill from Maka. Very smart. They made sure that it was clean. And I don't think Techno realized how effective his flash was, but he could have gotten out of there, no problem. But they just don't want to give up map control. And I respect that, because, I mean, if you do give up the map control every single time there's pressure, you simply do not have the utility to keep taking it back. You also just tell the other team, more information about your setup. And if you hold on to it and you believe in your aim, as the Mongols do, okay, well, let's see how this plays out.
Swing and great hold. Just when it looked like mid was compromised, we get this tethering from Mzinho onto Blitz. Oh, that's an entry and a half out of Maka. Hopper down, Pit player holds on for the ace as Mzinho holds on to the half wall. And that is the perfect distraction, all 5 from the youngest gun of the Mongols.
It's a couple of great spray downs today from Mzinho, but none better than that one. Amazing on the bracket hold after Blitz barely got 90 damage on someone with his MP9. Had their backs turned, spinning around on a lazy Susan. Super simple from the pit.
Sick timing on the swing out for the brackets hold. Dances with death on the last 2 and prevails. First ace of the mainstream for PGL Bucharest.
1v2 back on Ancient won the game as well. At least spared them from overtime.
Despite this still being a 3D Max lead for the time being, it's a Mongols camp that is not nearly as top-heavy as Map 1. We saw them power up with time. This is all of a sudden, though, very quickly onto this A site. Mzinho with a chance to do it again. Single frag only. XRC's AK in hand, fire at his feet, and we get this slow burn of a mid-wrap. Eventually coming forward from Techno. CTs decide to put pressure on before bomb is planted, and suddenly they start to take control away from the T's on site. Pistols will not prevail for the time being. Again, trying to scoop up the better weapons, and it will pay off. Lucky quickly to the headshot, and you get that wrap back around towards short side. They want to hold off on Library instead. Senzu drops Lucky, Glock in hand, and it's not going to be enough. The Mongols tie at 5 rounds each. Quick cut through the defense from 3D Max, but then they fizzle out on site.
Yeah, it's been a great comeback here for the Mongols into this half. And they really wanted to test Mzinho again right after he was that very special ace lane hold last round, and ends only with 1. I think the winning play right here for 3D Max would have just if possible, getting into pit, but it would have been hard to cross knowing the rotations are coming in. Obviously, this is not a full buy round, so I think they're feeling pretty happy to have got the bomb plant. Now in round 11, it'll be more full strength.
Cut off for the pack again. Techno. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oof. Body maybe steps to that one.
Man, that was, I mean, that's technically 2 spray transfers.
Oh.
He had to flick up to that first kill. That was beautiful.
The game is on. MongolZ at full strength. Techno had a rough go of it as well back on Ancient, but here we are.
Bro, that was
thriving.
Yeah, he's the guy for me. Like, obviously, I think like Maui brought up graffiti. Damn it. Well, it's gonna be a serious point, not anymore. Gravity's first bullet accuracy. I think Techno's that guy for me, where the stats really don't reflect how good his mechanics appear to be. The weird part is you also see great sprays from Techno. It's just that, and you see. I think he's got probably the most spray transfers on the whole team, just straight up, and yet, obviously, doesn't have the rolls, so the stats aren't always going to add up. But he can have a stinker or two, that's for sure.
Yeah, makes him relatable.
He can have a meatball.
I'm ready for the replay, though.
He can have a meatball like Gravity.
Don't you mean Gravity?
Gravity. That is not a watermelon. It's
not where you keep the watermelons normally, but Italians, am I right?
Always doing too much. You can hear Gravity talking on the radio right now. Mamma mia. I wonder if he knows about this.
This Italian name thing? No.
Yeah.
This is only.
It's only when we cast him.
I was gonna say we also just started it today.
No, I've been.
You've been calling him Gravity?
Yeah. I have. I've been trying to push the Italian narrative for a few months now.
Where have I been?
Yeah, I mean, that just shows how little impact I've had. I've been saying it, talking directly to you.
I feel like you haven't. You just think you have. What the hell? Poor guy's not having a fun time on Inferno, I'll tell you that much. Yeesh. Pressure's on, MongolZ. The CT side continuing with the confidence, with the fights down mid. Low health bars every step of the way for 3D Max. It was a 4-0 start for 3D Max. Just to emphasize how quickly this has shifted back into the MongolZ hands. And they will try the all-in on the B site once again. Final go of it. Entries are good. Body with the double.
That's the body double.
That's that stat line that they bring up. Those analysts over on the desk, the entry expertise that Body brings to the table for 3D Max.
That was insane how far he got. They were still setting up the flash.
Yeah.
Even when he turned around, he knew that Body had gotten into the site. That was just no chance.
Very clearly not ready for the commitment. Here comes Maka. Mac 10 in hand, Body pressed against him in blitz, and it's the perfect switch through smoke. Could have been better with the second, but it's gonna prime Lucky to just push this over the line, and then they'll go swinging into the opper. Triple kill for Body to close out the first half. We still end up tied, but again, I'll emphasize 4-0 start. That half fizzled out for the French.
It did, yeah. It was a really good comeback from the MongolZ. I mean, the game that we're seeing across both maps is that 3D Max can win almost every round, but they've given away too many good positions, and I don't think they've recognized the opportunities in a live match. It'll have to be something afterwards so they go back and see, like, okay, this is a good spot. We literally just needed to breathe, and because we didn't do that, we got too excited. We threw some good positions. That's how Ancient ended. That's why Inferno ended up in a comeback. And if they're going to pull off an upset versus a team who has so much overlap in the map pool, who are consistently better than them, who have better talent, then they can't make mistakes like that. Because you've either got to beat out on the individuals or as a team. So even though it was a very close game, they technically lost on both, right? And I will also have to see if the Inferno changes are only going to make this CT side harder for 3D Max. We see some of the entries coming through for 3D Max on this T side, and it might be MongolZ taking time to adapt to people running through a lot of utility. But what 3D Max did was totally valid. They found lots of good chances to get into sites, and they still came up with 6 rounds. Not a failure.
Gonna try to charge it down middle on the pistol. Body right back to it. Taps away 9-10. You've got this alt mid push as well, but the bomb curiously is working its way around through the apartments. First player gets cut down. Bomb itself yet to be spotted. Body comes over to full clear. Really trying to hone in on Blitz, and they'll do so. Dropping bomb in the process. 3D Max looking to take both pistols.
And they converted in the first half.
Yeah, bode well for a team that lost their momentum in the first 12. Gravity letting Exorcist take contact on the bridge. Whew. Those are the freebies you can't let go. So he gets there. Senzu denied, and that's 3D Max with a lead.
It's a key start. You see how hyped their coach is about this. CT side with a lead. Would you be a coach who sits down or stands up the whole time?
I'd stand up.
I'd stand up as
All
well.
the time. All the time.
100%.
Unless you're like really winning.
Maybe it's easy to say.
Like if you're standing in a 13-0, you're trying too hard. You gotta sit down out of respect.
Respect?
If you're winning a 12-0 game, you better not be standing as a coach.
Oh, I'd be naked. 12-0? All my clothes are off.
I don't think that's allowed. Surely that's in the rule book.
My eyes would never be wider.
Bloodlust. I stand most of the time while casting as well, so I mean, you know, surely that translates.
Yeah, but you know, it's something coaches have to do because they're on camera sometimes.
Right.
In the middle of games. For us, just a performance thing.
True.
Airflow.
My philosophy is you'd never want to get into a fist fight sitting down. So
true.
Why?
Never heard that.
You know, why would, yeah, just you do everything that's intense, you do standing up. Sports. Gravity to clear it, and all's good. 4 alive for 3D Max, 8-6 on the line. There are the smiles that we saw back on Ancient when they had their lead.
It can be kind of intense to eat a puffer fish, but you wouldn't do that standing up.
That's true.
We got him.
You have a point.
So, 2 good leads. That's something that's a little different to Ancients. In terms of the number of good rounds, well, we'll see how the rest of the CT side goes. Maka might have to be the star of the show this round. There it is. Great shot.
That, and then coupled with a freed up body who does not get away. Trying to stick around there. Look at a drop utility. No double entry for Techno 4K. Doesn't bode well for the Mongols. Now the Opper under pressure, but supported by Exorcists. It's a comfortable angle from down below, but he never actually gets vision on Mzinho until a little delayed endeavor. bLitz have to do it all. 1 versus 3 on the rock back to the A site. I mean, there's 1 defender here.
That's true. And Exorcist did not go through with the push. bLitz is going to milk this one. I mean, Exorcist gets to the best catch-all position. There's never bad time to play Big Pit. Even if bLitz knows that he's here, it's going to be hard to fish him out. He'll have to take a very small opportunity to win this fight. Let's see when the swing takes place. There it is.
Shot.
Now spotted. Now you got to be careful the graveyards walk up.
Grenade in hand as well. bLitz sees this as a chance to close that distance. 30 seconds on the clock. There's the duel, and it's won by Exorcist.
Nice, man. 13-6. 2 good maps from him.
Yep.
He was called on by the desk, I think, rightfully so. Here's the Ascension.
Really love that word usage by the desk, actually, to start the day.
Ascension is a great word, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got to ascend.
And I think to beat the Mongols, it's perfectly applied in this matchup. You know, highlighted as well that they don't lose many games versus opposition of this rank, but we can't forget about a very critical Astralis loss back at Cluj-Napoca.
Yeah, but it had to be on stage, didn't it?
That's fair. That's fair.
Really rough game from Senzu.
You're
Again,
right.
Just like Shanghai versus the Maus.
That's true. That's the game that everybody thought Astralis qualified for the major off of.
It would be good going into the stats of just like not the stage games for how many times they lose to a lower ranked team.
Right.
Because it might literally be never.
You hear that, desk? Start crunching numbers. Good things from Exorcist offered on this A site. Could be the sudden pop of the Mongols yet again. Working with Gravity inside sight, who drops his incendiary towards the apartments. That's going to free up Exorcist to just hold mid instead. Easy lineup. And then Gravity tethers perfectly off of him. The only thing that comes through is the 9-10 Deagle headshot. bLitz going to try to charge down the Opper. Go ahead, run. You can't hide from bLitz, who turns this around and gets cut off very quickly by Gravity. That is all 5 players now for 3D Max with 10 kills or more.
Idyllic start here on the CT side. 2 good starts in this game. Eventually, it's got to catch up to you, right, MongolZ? Now you've got the hardest possible route to victory. You're going to be able to pull this out. But it is only the second rifle round of the half. And their first time out.
Mara has waited. Am I crazy, or are the blue bars on the right longer than the blue bars on the left?
That's how you say blueberry in Danish.
It's true, actually. Blabba. Blabba, jordbær, hindbær. Why, yes, I do go to Joe and the Juice. So wide. And welcoming.
By this.
Senzu content to take it to the tip of it.
They literally just walked wide Molly. Never happened.
Oof.
And they've already looked at 4-player rotation. Oh, this is extreme, man. They've got Halls, they have Bracket, they have 2 on Arch, and they've no banana control. This is actually pretty insane. I mean, maybe they have some kind of read.
Comfortable.
All right. Yeah. That is the next step, though, because rotating back takes much longer. If you go into mid, get your kill, or confirm there's no one there, then that is the best way to speed up the round.
MongolZ group back over 4 strong on banana. We're starting to see majority from 3D Max move too, with a little bit of alt confirmation. B-site better be prepared. Techno tries to swing out before smoke pops. Gravity gonna scoop that one up with ease. Lucky swings off of Coffins to his death.
Wow.
But it's Gravity's rotation that's made the biggest difference so far. And Orange player able to lock in an additional kill. 9-10 1v4, 30 seconds. Utility pressures him as that fast flank comes forth. Exorcist with the close as 3D Max soar forward to the comfortable 11-6 lead.
Well, that's the best round that we've seen so far. And that's off the back of MongolZ tack pause. Lovely from 3D Max, from breaking open the smoke with the nade, the rotations back to B just in time. And again, not just going for A and then rotating back, but taking it to the next level, looking all the way down mid, finding their kill on that timing. That was a round with no gaps out of 3D Max. Great to see that here. That was the first time I think I've seen 3D Max look better than the MongolZ in every dimension in one round. No mistakes at all. No way back into it.
Saw 3D Max sitting comfortably on 11. Oh, that's a weird smoke.
Yeah.
What do you call that?
Cloud. What do you call it?
Bad smoke. Crunch on the mid play. 3D Max on for the 12th. Ooh, missed op shot. Means an open opportunity, but Mzinho doesn't feel like he can really extend outwards just yet. Flashbang turned the Opera around, and Gravity dies out towards middle despite good damage. Techno even covering Senzu so that they can capitalize on this and wrap it into the A-site plants. Oh boy. 3D Max had players in position to lock out this round again. We saw them get frazzled once they touched 11 over on Ancient. That's why they lose that map 13-11. What was it, 4 rounds? 5 rounds straight from the MongolZ to close out Ancient 13-11. Don't let that happen twice. Thing is very convincing. It's not just the retakes, you know, that we saw kind of bleed through back on Ancient that got 3D Max there. These have been convincing rounds, so I do believe in their ability to close out But it's just a little nervous that, of course, first chance to get 12 slips by.
Yeah, this game has been streaky both on Ancient and on Inferno. When a player wins one round, they end up winning 4 afterwards. It happened on Ancient, it happened on Inferno. It's been 2 of those good starts out of 3D Max, but it's the end of the halves that matter the most. So let's see if this really is a way back. I mean, this round's really scrappy, but I think that's going to follow through for the rest of the half here for the T side of the MongolZ. They've just got to keep up. But 3D Max have been aiming well.
Nothing for the op-out middle.
Really paying attention to the... Oh, banana plays.
Saw body.
One health for body here after this nade.
Again. Saw body close out the first half with the double entry kill. He will get the job done if demanded. That is a clean one. Senzu from the ramp.
Try swing into mid. Bottom B is smoked.
Yeah.
And they had boiler smoked too, so you know the peak could come behind it.
The rotation's good though. Check this out. 3D Max putting numbers
spotted.
strong. Oh,
He got spotted as a shoulder.
Then all of a sudden Arch still maintains some control. Lucky trying to do it. Trying to hold off for dear life here. But do the MongolZ read that?
Yeah, the smoke on Arch is so rough because they were hoping that there would be a fight here towards A. The bomb is sticking around though.
It's like Mzinho's gonna go carve a path towards B.
Lucky's gonna phase this?
No way.
Oh my god, it actually worked.
That's what it takes.
But B is still open. This is the weird part. The bomb is in middle.
If body come down mid, then Senzu doesn't get a chance to escape.
But now they're going to rotate through halls.
What's he do? Because he's stuck in this corner 30 seconds. What's he do? Oh, no! Not ideal! They come charging past him. They would have all slipped right by him. Mzinho denied it. 12th round comes through from 3D Max. Senzu looking scared.
Yeah, that wasn't a great moment, I think, for the MongolZ in general. They actually, I mean, also that push on Arch was pretty crazy considering the position. But again, it's another moment where instead of just rotating over to B, they get the info back on mid, and then you can either confirm whether you can stay there or not without wasting more time. So it was a risk. It was a risk that paid off, and they like to push smoke sometimes, so fair enough. But Senzu, he had a lot of early timings to leave there. They had the B site wide open. It would have been weird also, like in terms of option coverage, if Senzu gets that op kill, is he going to go A? No. So then he still has to leave somehow.
Yeah.
Because Mzinho's got to come back all the way from B. If there's one player on B, that was what they expected to see maybe. Would have been better to 2v1 that. So I'm not exactly sure why. And maybe if Senzu had a rifle, it's a slightly different situation, but even still, he's in a very closed off spot. They could be in halls. They could come in from mid with 2 like we just saw. And then in which case, what's the next step?
Flabbergasted. Ooh. 3D Max looking to seize this second map. Waste no more time. Senzu in the corner, off the flash. Good work.
Okay.
Maybe if he had a rifle, it would have been different.
Yeah. Oh man, they missed their molly entirely this round.
Extinguished.
I thought that it would have done anything anyway, but.
3v5 for 3D Max to close in round 20.
You know, brave to stay here for Maka, but he doesn't scope and unscope. He hasn't actually made any noise.
Techno's got his pistol out.
And there's only like rifle coverage behind this. Maka could clean this angle out, maybe.
It's a pistol swing first. Down goes Techno, easy. Ooh, can he recover the second player? All that's left of 3D Max is here. You're not expecting a 3-player swing top banana in a 3v5 nonetheless. They try to take it back by storm. And now they're kind of stuck on the other half of the map. Could transition you into a save if you really don't chance it, but yeah, that's what they'll do. Concede. If they're able to stop that bomb from leaving, then they look like heroes. Nice shot out of Maka, but not enough this time. 4 rounds, the gap.
Yeah, considering their history, we've got 3D Max looking for just one map win in this series, and like now they've reached 10 rounds twice, which is also a milestone, which is nice to see here for 3D Max. But closing is the final step, and we have not seen that yet.
Terrorists win.
All three allowed to save.
As Young Thug once famously said, the horses, they don't stop, they keep going.
All right. Dope. .3D Max trot their way to an Inferno win.
It was more like a Mongolian board type of thing. Okay.
Just trying to keep the horse themes going. Ooh. Little chip damage on Techno. Better keep his head down. But 3D Max, little engagement, and they leave. Senzu prances through smoke. Gonna look to catch this defense off guard to keep the T side rolling. There's a little jiggle spotted from top orange. No swing off Coffin, immediate. Delayed peek out from Lucky. Gets the opening kill. 3D Max had their chances on Ancient. Don't let a second map slip. And you have sectioned off the CTs now, so control taken back. And it's low health for Lucky. Able to dodge that nade. Good on him to stay standing. Retake demanded of the French. And bLitz is gonna take a look down Banana as Exorcise is cut off deep inside of that CT spawn, which means the additional CT player already so low from that early contact. MongolZ just tiptoe their way forward onto the site, and I'd say catch 3D Max off guard.
Yeah, that's we saw MongolZ in the first half be extremely stubborn about leaving Banana, and I think what they show us right here is why you want to keep information, because that walk-up looks so powerful. And actually, 3D Max did something very similar to them with Body. We'll see if that continues to be a problem. Save looks solid. Great spray transfer here for Gravity. And now the 3-round game. Well, it's still fine here if you're 3D Max. You still got a couple chances on the rifle rounds. You are using your third timeout. Does that mean they've used it, or they've got 3?
This is 3 of 3.
Yeah, okay.
For Wazink to get into the conversation.
Right, I think he's called them at all the perfect time. Remember the first half now, right after the 4-round streak, things went rough for a second. He tried to get involved. I think it's like recognizing their own issues with momentum, both teams. I mean, for the MongolZ, mostly just about like starting the half off right, obviously. And Exorcise, 18 and 10. Mag 7 again.
Dude,
another good map for shotguns.
Trying to push this one over the line, but 910's got Maka's number. In with the banana peak, off posted early.
Solo.
And the Exorcise Mag 7 will not find more than 1. It's just Mzinho here sitting duck for the Gravity balcony peak, but it's all banana control for the MongolZ.
No more nades came through Banana. Solo B play with the op. I think they can't really believe it, but now that they've cleaned everything out and they're sitting on top of the op, I think they know. Surely.
It's a sprint of a rotation over. Of course, MongolZ still could just try to follow through, but they've allowed Lucky to get here and put the smoke down. Players in front of it, though, still not bad for Gravity to bring one with him. All things considered, still a winnable 3v3. Fast flank out of the 2. Lucky fire spreads to his feet. 910 gets a kill on both halves of this site. And now snaps that up. Quad kill for 910. And not to mention a critical opening op duel that really set the tempo into that B site. Double digits MongolZ.
Quite a highlight. He's casting magic, hitting off shots at the same time. Excellently done out of 9-10. And it's him who guarantees this round or not. If he dies at the top of Banana, that's how the retake takes place. So the solo op play does not work out on this round from 3D Max. They went for it, but obviously 9-10 denied it with his own op. The game does now get nervously close.
Senzu denied the entry. Here we go. That's what 3D Max have been hunting for, opening advantages.
Body's been pretty rock solid when it comes, especially fighting from here specifically. It's coming up spades every time. Wow, man. There's still 4 on B, but it looks like it's the right option.
Sticking around for a little longer.
But there's 2 in the site.
Barrel spotted, or not.
Didn't even adjust to that.
Techno just gets blindsided by that close play. Little bit of damage off of the grenade, but still so many players ready to swing this. You'd think the numbers should still catch them off guard, but they're letting them unravel.
What?
Great cover. bLitz holds the left side. Op stays full focused. That felt like it was the one for 3D Max. Could still be. Maka from backside, double kill. And then Mzinho off the top rope into the clutch.
Oh!
And denied. Not this time. It's 3 rounds straight for the MongolZ, but the 3D Max close in their finally 4th attempt. They get a map in the series over MongolZ.
Can you say about this series? It's actually just crazy. You think you know something, and then you don't.
Teams get exponentially better day 2, day 3 if you survive. But this is not the test that you want to fail on the team that you regularly beat if you're the MongolZ. And also in the interview talking about being a tournament favorite. That has to go without saying. Again, it's the stage that's the final test for the MongolZ. It is not versus teams like of this caliber at this event. They can regularly beat them, and they can do it all the way up until they get to playoffs. That's when the struggles occur. But in this environment, surely MongolZ, this should be the bar.
Should have and could have closed this one in 2. 3D Max, can they kick it off with another pistol win? Both pistols on Inferno, one of them in the opening map of Ancients. And they will sink their teeth into this B bomb site, currently occupied by 3 MongolZ members. Yeah, you just got shut out, buddy. Bombs down, all too easy. The only kill that comes back thus far is the Maka P250 tap. And then a long-range USP fight at hand. We've already seen a damn near 1v5 from the French in this series. Why not?
Keeps checking it. Flanks coming in slowly. Bomb still here on the site. So, I mean, this play from bLitz just sets it up so that they can sit here, be patient, and stay forward and everything like that. Maka gets spotted again. And it feels like it's only a matter of time before 3, 2, 1 that he gets... Oh! Killed. I don't always try the Gervin guarantee.
No.
And
no, you don't.
I gotta say, when I do it, I'm right.
Not even close.
You know what he was smart to do, though? He went for left, left, right.
Yeah.
And if he hadn't done that,
things get weird.
Things get very weird.
You gotta laugh those off. So MongolZ start this with the pistol win.
But like, what does bLitz's face look like in that situation?
Even
a smirk?
No, the same it always looks. bLitz is all business.
What are you laughing about, Mzinho? I did that for the money. For us. For the family.
Careful, careful. Mac-10s and Tech-9s knocking on the door of this bomb site. Even with the 2 first frags, it's not comfortable for the guys still left on site, but this big wrap from 9-10 as the M4 is now in Maka's hands. Kind of stuck along this wall, but trying to fight for control of the box. Ooh, MP9 denies him. Mac-10 hits the ground. It's just the Tech-9s needed, and Lucky, whoa, hits him with the drive-by. Racks up a little bit of extra cost, sure enough, but it's the bLitz defuse, and it's all good for the MongolZ. So what if it's a little pricey? It's M4 saved.
So what?
So what?
So what?
Get out of here.
I love this Tech 9 pop. I think it's a super strong. I think not smoking default in the standard way is better because you want to take the fight versus back default, especially on a Tech 9 round. It's not a great place to stand in the first place, and maybe it's too much to use on a round where you have like full guns. But in a situation like that, you want to take some open fights. You have really great ways to flash into the site, and you've got a lot of T advantages coming in too. So, okay. Good effort. 3 kills. Not bad. 30 max.
Double up in long A has been here since the start. Haven't tried to prod anything in terms of the 3 max setup. And now they'll trickle down ever closer. Mac 10 at the front of it. (910) doesn't realize it yet, but he is in a dire position, and his support starts to look over towards camera, trying to send flashes out middle instead.
Yeah, it's like if they don't flash, and if they do flash, he can be there. Very annoying here for 3D Max. They were readying this attack. This kind of ruins things. They're going to have to jump through.
Ooh, full white. That flash saves it. Second player can't deny everybody that does barrel through. And so 3D Max go charging headstrong into this A site. Lucky hangs off for the flank. We had a little jostling of control over towards E-Box, so he should be prepared for it. Techno comes stomping upwards, gets a little awkward, still collects his kill. BLitz comes out from storage, double kill, and a chance a little bit more. But Mac is going to catch him off guard, and there's no immediate trade out of Senzu as he's now tasked to clutch. Fire doesn't burn him all the way out into the crosshair. Trying to piece together these duels won't happen, and 3D Max make it through that forward 910 setup.
Wasn't a comfortable spot with the smoke being so fresh. And with a setup on A main, they had every right to stand there. But obviously, they needed 1 player to get 2 kills. That was the only way they were going to stop that getaway and delay for time. So painted into a corner. They decide to flash through this, and the flash is excellent. Obviously, they have that lined up. So fair enough. At least they didn't lose the round.
Fast to the action, though.
Oh, what a shot. Scout headshot.
All right, through the edge of E-Box. Bodies smoke spam, collects 1 back, and that Mac 10 goes just prancing into the bomb site. No issue for Gravity as he turns this back around towards the 910 Deagle flank. BLitz already going to show his hand. Not a great duel for him. AK trained on the flank. All's good here for 3D Max. Surviving a bit of pressure from the MongolZ as they look to fight fire with fire in the 4th. Fast duels queued up, and we start to tap back into the ferociousness of this head-to-head in terms of tempo.
On paper, it's a map that makes sense, I think, for 3D Max, especially when it comes to the B-Pops. Entry power is everything on Anubis.
Terrorists win.
And that's got to be the main strength for 3D Max, and just trying to support behind that, right? So the tactics, that's where the rubber meets the road for 3D Max. It's the tactics into, 1 player being able to multi on entries. And with the addition of body, it sort of leans into that strength more.
Sometimes can end up being a bit more of a glass cannon when the entries don't come with ease, but a round like this should be smooth sailing. expose the guy in window and follow through. Mac 10 full steam ahead. And there ain't no stopping him. Bomb site to be taken. Bomb surely to be planted. And Lucky just doesn't want to be the next casualty, but he is. Gets popped by the 910 Desert Eagle, so a couple of costs racked up, but Gravity should still be able to find an upgrade unless Techno steals it. Yoink. Taking a sniff at this bomb site, Senzu. Definitely a price tag to rack up, but not the case. Majority survive here for 3D Max. A couple of very quick rounds back-to-back from the bridge to B, from mid to A. Just gonna soak up a few free rounds while they can. That is 3 in a row for the French.
It'll have to be a good T-start. I mean, this is a map where very clearly when they switch over, it's going to be a lot of problems. On Inferno, it was like, okay, but I think, you know, maybe 3D Max can still close on CT's side, and it ends up also being a very close map, but they do it. And 3D Max, for the first time, don't have a good start, and yet they still take the lead.
Body catching opening kills versus the guns.
Very low econ round out of the MongolZ too, so they need the kills, because Utility's not going to let them draw this one out.
Kills could come by way of River. Look to push the canal.
Default has to be a little bit rigorous here. I mean,
oh, we got a glimpse of the drop down, but then Maka's smoke clears out. bLitz gonna catch that one player over towards B, but there's still this pack down in the waterways, and they're gonna work this towards what? It's a double back, a pause, a stutter here for 3D Max.
Yeah, I mean, they wisely go back, and you see that bLitz thinks that they're gonna hit it back to the B site. His rotation now will be slowed down.
Senzu gets in position in time, but that's a 4-player strong pack for 3D Max. On the brink of an A site, wide swing in with no resistance, and Gravity punches in the digits. bLitz may be close, but he is certainly outnumbered. Supported forward, this SMG. Into the upgrade goes Gravity, 3D Max. Looked like they could have gotten caught as they trickled down from Rugs, but that is a strong statement as they go 4 straight.
Yeah, it's perfect defense in the default. It's an aggressive bit of canal control out of MongolZ, which I love. I think that's a play that makes sense. I think it's even relatively unexplored in terms of one CT option that can be aggressive, that's hard to stop. You see Vitality use that a lot with Rops getting out, and there are spots where you can stand and really wait by yourself for a long time, but 3D Max deal with it comfortably. They don't get worried behind the stair smoke. They are pushing out of Rugs at the perfect time. Yeah, their aim is looking solid.
Yeah. Well oiled, but 5-7s to the back of the heads between bLitz and Senzu. Gotta be careful when you're tiptoeing your way through the minefield that is the MongolZ. Nothing beyond those 2 5-7s, so a strong recovery from 3D Max. This is starting to look a little too one-sided.
They are looking for the upsets to start the, well, actually, we've already got one. Rare Adam taking down Virtus.pro.
Yeah, 2-0.
And not even just close games, smashing them.
Not even competitive.
No. Wow, Maka, 156 ADR, 11-3 on the start.
It's an excellent start from him, and one that makes up for the weakest performance so far this series from Exercise. He had 2 1.3 ratings or more.
Yeah, his average will be good if they really keep cleaning up here.
Yes, sir. Even on that ancient loss, leaps and bounds above the rest. Trying to be the savior of the day, sets them up for Maka's strong performance. The AKs, and with sights set on this B site. Again, 3D Max, there's a certain bit of conviction in their steps. Adamant about these opening moves. Spam comes out, that's 3 players strong for the MongolZ here on B. Is it enough to deter 3D Max? It's a good amount of damage.
This is weird, yeah, they have to commit, right?
Still gonna try to follow through. They're not gonna find anybody in the open. Senzu on the reload, Techno peels one off of the bomb site. Still it gets a little squirrely, and they're able to come up with all the kills. Triple for the MongolZ. It is a lot of pressure to follow through, and a confident hold out of the MongolZ as they were ready for that one.
So those are the standard smokes I was talking about, in contrast to their eco smokes, which is the actually more simple exec, but requires more fights. But you can see the advantages the CTs have behind those smokes. The lineups towards B main are way easier when you have the standard default smokes. If you have the deeper ones, there's no actual angle for you to fight or just go forward with the spam. So I don't know. This is a spot where they know they have to come through. It's very early in the round. They aren't rushing entirely, so they have to come through a smoke as they blow it open. They need their teammate on the way in. They don't have a player on the other side of the map to like have any kind of lead to leave. So I think they put a lot of undue pressure on themselves to make that happen. But for the MongolZ, they had great angles, solid positions, easy spans. Now it's just like that previous round. The first one that got them into the game, they got Mzinho blind. And it looks like they might do it again, but this one's a little earlier.
9-10 supports from Fountain. Misses his second shot and gets struck down. Gravity in between the two. Mzinho just pelted by
utility. Threw all their utility, man.
Yeah,
they're going to go forward with this.
Absolutely dumped it. But do they drop it? No. So far, so good. And they double down onto the bricks. So Lucky supporting forward. Flash out through the windows from Exorcis. And man advantage for 3D Max. Challenge off of Heaven. Senzu tries to just thrust himself into the mix. And now Techno gonna have to just step his way appropriately between the two. Gets a little more damage in, but Exorcis keeps his head down and keeps the 3D Max rounds rolling.
Yeah, they do, man. Again, not the prettiest situation here on the attack from 3D Max, where they showed their whole hand. They decided to use all their utility. They aren't running in off of flashes. I think they keep one trailing, though. So there's like Mzinho blind in the sight as they get in a little bit afterwards. But a couple of bad sprays out of the MongolZ on a very simplistic strat. It's fine here for 3D Max. Again, we're at the deeper end of their map pool. This is not exactly where they're always winning. So the fact that they're in a decider is already very impressive. Now they're actually getting the scrappy rounds out on the T side. They have a very comfortable lead. I think it's the MongolZ who are going to be quite disappointed in themselves, especially with how some of these holds have gone. And this is around 9-10 gets the first kill on the exec. The utility comes out way too early after the attack. And they still just win all these raw fights.
I hope that's a feature, not a flaw. Let's keep that in.
Let's keep it in.
That's cool. I'll keep that reverb going.
Really auto-tune it. Take it to the next level.
Nice. Okay, ambitious.
That was crazy. I mean, he ran so deep in that molly, I don't even know if he gets out alive.
I don't know either. Felt like a one at most type moment there from 9-10. Bolstered, of course, by the two players behind him, so not just this two-player setup, and also double op, right? That's why he gets so crazy. Why would you ever expect it? bLitz picks it up, posts it on the same angle. But now just stoic for the moment. The MongolZ not wanting to overstep as this full-blown commitment comes in the other side of the map. Exorcis on high alert, waits for this kind of a challenge. bLitz is able to collect. Senzu in from jail with a chance to hold it all back. It was a lot of pressure on him. And obviously bLitz, it's not an ideal position to be in, but he does have full nades. Swap to the AK. Had a chance to run down this bomb site. No kit, but he'll play for it. Front-facing player inside of sight is Lucky. And an incendiary to clear out the pillar. Nobody home. Off angle from Lucky's gonna catch you off guard. 7-3. 3D Max trouncing MongolZ at the moment.
100%. And their opening play from 9-10 looks absolutely insane. I don't know if this molly was something they anticipated. Probably not. But he also, I mean, maybe it's a different round if he doesn't miss his shot. I think that's the other part to this. Looked like he was going to die no matter what, but even with the commitment, misses when he tries to adjust. It sets up a 5v4. It's really nice for 3D Max, and the close is fantastic. It's one situation where they don't get over enthusiastic, regroup towards B, play solid advantages to the end of the round. Close. No one watching this.
Well, body was, nice. But has he let them get too much? Double kill off of the bridge, but down goes the second rifle that MongolZ had to work with. So it's a bit of a recovery, you know, but body will make up for it. Little bit of slack, not too much to deal with. MongolZ still sitting on 3 as 3D Max feast on this T side.
Man. Bellissimo here. It's literally the pistol, 1 conversion, and 1 rifle round for the MongolZ.
Yeah, that's it. You know, should bLitz have gotten away with the first 2 kills? Maybe not. Does body make up for it? Absolutely. Obviously, 3D Max no longer worried about economy as they have gotten so deep into this T side with very few struggles. Final attempt for the MongolZ to collect that 4th round of a defense. Good distraction offered up by the Opper. M4 only with the 1.
The entry power.
And there's nobody else close enough in sight yet. bLitz smoked off for the time being. 3D Max hit the pause button for a second. You've also got, of course, this E-box control from Techno. bLitz finds one through smoke, lines it up well. bLitz will get a second and a third to go with it. Smooth sailing in the final round. 1 for the road for the MongolZ.
This matchup's great, man. It's like a death match every single round. Everybody is happy to take those fights. So a 4-round lead, that's fantastic. It's not as crushing, though, versus an elite, team like the MongolZ compared to a 9-3 scoreline. There's still going to be some pressure, I think, on 3D Max to pick up the second pistol. I hate to say it, even with a lead like this, they know they haven't closed the game, and these guys play very close. But right now, uncharted territory here for 3D Max. They could have won this in 2. They're still playing well on the 3rd map. They're trying to take down their arch nemesis in the MongolZ, and this would definitely turn some heads for them at an event like this. Tournament favorites may be down on day 1.
So MongolZ with a rare amount of time off between events, a chance to go home, catch their breath, a break for once.
That's why you don't take breaks.
Counter-Strike waits for no one. Max also given a chance, I think, to cook in between events. We're talking about a team that hasn't played since Pro League. Ooh, XRC kicks it off. Okay. Bodies Beretta's inside of the double doors. 5v3 looks good on 3D Max. Again, stomp this out before it has a chance to really ignite the comeback.
They both dropped.
Yeah.
They both dropped bridge. They were listened to, and the bomb can rotate back around. This is the only way back in for the MongolZ.
But what's the bomb do? Cross the bridge? Because now with players on Canal, that A player is going to get found out.
Yeah.
Bomb is able to get down through camera. 3D Max trying to attack the back line as 910 goes back to try to hold this off. Molotov will keep them at bay.
Allows the plan.
Guaranteed. bLitz punches it in. No threat up from heaven. Storage control can be taken over by 910. Bomb planted behind Cake. And you've got 3D Max already out from long. Those dual Berettas, all that's left now. Able to get into the site, but the headshots connect for the MongolZ. And is that bridge push their mistake?
That was a huge mistake. I mean, that was a massive gap that they left open. And they just didn't think anybody else was holding or listening. But do they need to chase down what wasn't even a B split? There actually was just one person outside of B. Well, clearly not. So that's a way back into the game for the MongolZ. Got to be careful when you give out those. You can see how much changes, right? Like with mid, you have a rotation of both sides. When you drop like that, now suddenly you're, useless when it comes to, defending against mid. That was creepy.
Liege would spray into that pack and get all 5 headshots, though. You can try your best to offset the crosshair.
All red bubbles to him. Red balls.
Pop them. Drop them.
Like Orville Red and Baka. Make this Bacchus, Cranberry Bacchus.
Knock, knock, nobody home. A site clear for the taking. Will the 5v3 double bridge push be what comes back to haunt 3D Max for eternity?
All you had to do was nothing.
Like the ghosts of their ancestors. Hiding behind every corner. The thought of what could have been if only we could beat the Mongols. History dictates that you can't. Even a map win. Elusive. Can their first map win in quite some time come with a match win? Time will tell.
Anubis, CT side, max difficulty, nightmare difficulty.
bLitz is starting to get into like the pop-off territory.
Yeah, he had a pair of really good rounds. End of the half, start of the next one. 2 key moments. So again, not the 9-3 start, little pressure on the pistol, and literally the game is nearly tied up. 3D Max. They have to ascend.
Ascension was the key word that the desk brought to the table today. Aptly put it. And now the true test starts. Smoked out for the time being. MongolZ disengage. That 3D Max A setup starts to sniff out control for long, dropping an incendiary ahead of him. Gravity, what's your play?
Uh-oh.
Teammate falls back and gets extinguished. He gets flashed. And that spam out from Senzu is a one and done. Lucky there.
That was an inherently flawed risk that he took. You can see from the protocols from the Mongols, like, if you get tagged in that molly, you can stand there, but you have no way to peek out wider.
Here comes the commitment. Triple push into A. XRC's trying to drop utility. He's got a teammate to work with. Body hanging on. And now it just falls on to bLitz. First kills connected. How much does he have to do on his own? 2 kills in, 2 to go. Swing out from camera!
Oh.
And the spray is just off the mark. Oh, what could have been. Lucky stands tall, and 3D Max collect their 9th.
Excellent trades, though, from 3D Max. I think that the first tactic that they try to use inside of E-Box, it's a happy moment for the Mongols. They're waiting for something like that to take place. They have the perfect utility to respond to any kind of aggression there. But when it came to the site trades on the A site, that is its own beast, man. That's actually a very hard thing to figure out. A lot of teams, even at the top, can't find out how to trade with more than one player without deep control of A main. And 3D Max did. They actually were very solid in that position. Really shows off how good their fragging has been, so they keep the lead. They extend it a little bit.
Fast peek.
And he doesn't come too soon enough.
Maka catching Senzu as well. 5 versus 3 for the double digits. The elusive double digits versus MongolZ. 3D Max looking to do it back-to-back maps. Techno looking to scour over the smoke. He will find an angle onto Plat when he chooses to, but he doesn't actually use the bump. So bLitz decides to bounce over bridge. And body right along the wall, cleans it up with the FAMAS. Really just sucking the life out of this round. MongolZ down to just this contact out on A. Techno hits him with the op. That is the potential reopening of this bomb site, but utility comes back out of 3D Max in what should be a comfortable position. Flashbang stuns them. Lucky actually gives up his angle. That opens the door for Mzinho. Techno tries to cover, but he drops his teammate in the process. It's 2 kills in for Techno, the only success for the MongolZ here in the 16th. And at 40 seconds, he scours that long control, third kill, and then the flank out from Body to close it. Double digits confirmed.
They had that one in the bag with the 2 players flanking. No way Techno could figure out he could escape through E-Box. And instead, we've got another win here for 3D Max to grab 10. They've been crushing so far. Didn't think we'd see the instant success on the rifles here on CT, but they are doing it.
Now just pistols too, so 3D Max, this is looking like that golden opportunity to finally get a series over MongolZ. A day to improve.
I wonder if bLitz took a break. Because he kept talking about how much the guys need a break.
Yeah, he said, I just want to practice.
Yeah.
Like, you see what happens? This is your family now. Pistols won't mean too much. We got a team kill in the middle of it all. M4s want to get in on this. Bomb plant. A little silver lining here for the MongolZ. But they haven't had these sorts of situations really pull through. Senzu would have to go God mode and only has 5 shots in the deagle, so 5 headshots demanded of him. Not gonna happen. Not one frag comes out for the MongolZ. Bomb plant's all they get. Comfortable 5-round lead for 3D Max. 2 rounds from the win.
I mean, now you just keep your head screwed on. You know that your A-site defense have good chemistry together. You've got some opening tactics that work. That play they got in the face of 9-10 when he tried to swing out B main, they were 1 step ahead of that. I would love to compare the 5v4s in this game and also the double entry stats out of 3D Max. I think that's been one of the most successful parts for them. They'll be a bit worried to think about the MongolZ now as the tournament progresses based on this result. But at the same time, day 2, day 3, I know it'll be better. What I'm actually more curious about is how good can 3D Max be versus future competition. Maka, oh, he missed this. He missed this entirely, but he'll still get a kill off of it.
And gets back.
Whoa, Emzinho was not in a position to go for a swing.
Oh, no.
They can't let these go.
Maka dives away from the danger, chucking nades over top. Good thing Emzinho got off that position. But at the same time, it is MongolZ just looking for some kind of a thread to pull on anything like that. Lucky caught in transition as he looked to double down with his teammate inside of E-Box. Gravity now positioned here on his own. Exorcise to challenge out on A. Solo duel, no trade potential. Mac-10 holds it back. And now you've got yourself just 2 players left. A 12th round to be secured here for 3D Max, but an elusive bLitz gets into the back of the site instead. Techno's still stuck in with all of them, and he can't escape alongside that bomb. bLitz has been the saving grace for the MongolZ throughout this decider map, and it looks like he will put that bomb down, barring Body stopping him. bLitz drops into the bomb site. Body emerging out from camera. Could just end this round right here. But bLitz is given a chance to get that gun back in hand. Turns around to Bricks. And Body just playing with him as the support comes through. And they will clear him out regardless. This CT side goes 4 rounds straight. Plenty of chances to close this.
Smelled like a comeback was possible on Inferno, but this one doesn't really have the signs at all. Even though this is a T side of Anubis, it is such a big gap. It's also a pistol round 1 in the second half out of the MongolZ, and yet still, all of these CT rifle rounds, all their opening tactics are working out, and they're just fragging way better. You have one player who is doing anything on the MongolZ right now. Just so happens to be the one player who was talking about how much more he feels the team needs to practice, but it looks like the time off has affected them. He's one guy on 20 kills, top fragging on the server entirely. And honestly, the only success we've seen from them, the last round of the first half, the pistol round, has bLitz's name written all over it.
This is a MongolZ with 2 pistol wins. This is a MongolZ with 2-0 starts to the halves, and still they will find nothing in the follow-through. MZ looking to get a trade back, but it comes at the cost of bLitz, and with their king down, nothing but pawns left on the table. MongolZ still trying to recover the round. Ooh, free B, you'd think, for Techno. Decides not to shoot. Lucky still the sitting duck. Would never see that one coming. And so the round reopened. The possibility of a B commitment seems very much on the table. Body doubles back from middle. 3D first chance to close the series may have eluded them. All because of Techno finding good tempo on the walkout into B.
Well, they had some pretty good retakes back on Ancient. 2-on-3, and the nades are excellent. 2-on-2 now.
All right, and that's gonna send MZ scrambling, not to mention blocked off, unable to exit through camera. Still a couple more pieces of util to be thrown just to clear that close corner. Techno just a slightly off angle, MZ to clear it. Techno may be your round MVP, but it's a close from the kid. It's not 5 straight. 3D remain with plenty of chances.
So 1 foot in front of the other here for the MongolZ, but even when they win, it's incredibly close. And once again, as they start the round, shut down on their opening play. Every time they want to be aggressive at the same time as 3D, it's 3D who are better. It's a pretty insane win to potentially add to their Anubis resume. They're almost getting 3 birds stoned at once with this win, Connor.
All 3. Hang on tight.
Some easy bud.
Able to disengage from it. Frag in the face of bLitz. He'll have to chew on that. We've got bodies inside sight. We got flashes in their eyes. Body trying to hide as Lucky still white. Doesn't get himself the second. 9-10 into the challenge. Body emerging from back plat. Dropped by MZ. Man advantage off that one. MongolZ look like they've collected yet another round. The hope is high for this overtime.
Shed their inhibitions a little bit, running free, but even still, like, you've got 3D at least getting 1 apiece, no matter what, constantly a threat. They've certainly got more multis here, but MongolZ will pick up another round. There's nothing fancy about it. Simple B attack and some good follow through. But unless the second player hits a positive scoreline here for the MongolZ, I don't think there's anything really to talk about.
We'll take it round by round. Money still yet to waver here for 3D. Good extra cash on Maka. Spread the wealth. Let's try to stay tuned in with the game. See what kind of change-up comes through.
Gotta love how involved Wising's attacks are, and I think that sort of every moment where he comes in is the right one. Right before it feels like things could go wrong, as opposed to right after it's a little bit too late. Haven't always seen the success after their attack pauses, but he's got ideas.
Zen playing for long A. This is the understaffed site for 3D.
They're getting ready to go behind. They were getting ready to go behind this. 910's waiting for a flash to come in. Okay, that utility is beautiful. They just get the audible off it, which is important.
910 right back to the hunting grounds, though.
Yeah, the op's not left.
XRC starting to drop his utility in the same position as the first volley. Molly out for 3D. to have to deal with. He'll sit on it, and then he tries to swing. 910's been ready for that one all round long.
Right. And I mean, he knows Demoli doesn't cover that option. Two-player push here. Now it's a little scary here for 3D Max. They get spotted. Oh, both down by bLitz.
Beautiful. 22 frags to his name. Back towards middle for the triple, and he will nail it. Maka down to the 9 health that's left for this in-game leader, taking charge of the scenario. Bomb plant undeniable. Oh, and bLitz has got the quad, the headshot for the road.
Touchdown.
3 straight out of the MongolZ. 3 away from overtime.
Number of quality rounds out of bLitz. A lot's helped out by this first kill, however, from 910, but yeah, talking about spray transfers, man. Look at him go. The final tap too. Peekaboo.
Triple nade set up for 3D Max, coming out of spawn with an idea. Nobody home. There you go. Very nice.
Knock, knock.
That's a limitation for 910, but it's everything they had. Pistol challenge over the bridge. No, don't close like this. Wide swing out from them. bLitz down. Exorcise has made the difference to grab the gun, the bomb on top. Oh, that's the move.
They can go for the big spread. Lucky's on a 5-7, but he's in an unknown spot.
These sorts of round wins have not been coming through for either team. Force buys have not been a part of the conversation. 3D Max's first nade missed.
7 bullets for Senzu.
This is not ideal. Lucky's still yet to join up. It's all about Mzinho and Senzu being able to tether and not being caught by Exorcise, who was playing lights out in the first 2 maps.
Oh!
It gets away from him. They join forces. Now Lucky's 5-7 to make the difference. Both players run down on him, and Senzu will make sure that they don't lose on that.
10-on-10 awareness out of Senzu for each of those fights. Had to be in those first few bullets, though. 7 bullets on the swing to Exorcise, who made a very pragmatic rotation through spawn, but at the same time, because Senzu waited it out, you could expect him to get there. A close call, but I don't think MongolZ are actually that worried about close calls anymore. Economy starts to matter less and less. Round 23. Another chance to bottom them out. Oh, push is perfect, no trade.
3D Max trying to fight this with some aggression, trying to end it. Inside regulation. Op is on its angle. Jump over denies him the chance to strike a player down. Long A fight for Mzinho. Low health. The lineup. Gravity able to get the 4v2 established. We saw 5 rounds in regulation of Ancient for the MongolZ to win the only map so far for them in the series. And now you've got to recover this, but it doesn't look possible. 3 straight 2-0 wins for the MongolZ over 3D Max. 9 months since their last win in this head-to-head. And it's not just a map by the looks of it, a match in the opening day of PGL Bucharest. Favorites, we called them. And 3D Max find form to make up for their previous event's slow start. Losing to Tyloo in Stockholm put a dent in the reputation of 3D Max. And Techno, all that stands between them. Triple up between him and the bomb. Tries to cut off one play. This is where it ends. They've done it. 3 flat matches, but not today.
Yeah, absolutely perfect if you're 3D Max. They don't care if it's a bit scruffy and scrappy. They've taken down a top team. It was their first win, I think, over the MongolZ lineup as well.